Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Thursday, October 8th, 2020, and I am Kiah Fischer. Abbot gives an okay to open bars back up, second presidential debate, and Hurricane Delta enters the Gulf, coming up next on Texan TV. In campus news, Phi Omega will be hosting its second annual Puppies and Pumpkins philanthropy event tonight from 6 to 8 at Heritage Park. This fundraiser will include carnival-style games as well as a photo booth. Bring your pup and pre-carved pumpkin to be entered into the pumpkin carving contest. Donations can be made in cash or on Cash App, and all proceeds will go to the Arath County Humane Society. For more information, check out Phi Omega's Instagram page. In local news, according to the Stephenville Empire Tribune, Three-Way ISD is going to hold its first senior graduation at the end of the school year. In the past, Three-Way ISD only offered kindergarten through 6th grade, but since the school district has been growing rapidly, they now have senior high schoolers who get to walk the stage. Superintendent Paul Ryan stated, "Probably in the last 15 years, they started growing a little. I got there 7 years ago, and we were at 51. And in those past 7 years, they have grown to a population of around 215 students. 215 may seem small for some, but for Three-Way ISD, it is a big leap for the future of their school system." And now, today's Texas national and international news from the Associated Press. Governor Greg Abbot allowed bars to begin reopening yesterday for the first time since June, ending a lockdown that began during the coronavirus outbreak. However, Abbott's decision does not allow all Texas bars to fully reopen. Dallas leaders were very clear that they would keep their bars from reopening, pointing to an increase in cases and hospitalizations. Bars that are given local permission are able to open starting next week, but can only do so at 50% capacity. Multiple lawsuits were filed by conservative activists accusing Abbott of overdoing the lockdown orders and ensuring a statewide mask mandate. Leaders in Austin were also supportive of the reopening of bars, saying they would confer with the local health officials. Hundreds of Texas bars have added kitchens or food service during the lockdown as a way of getting around the closure order. In national news, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden says he and President Donald Trump should not have a debate if the president is still sick with COVID-19. Biden is looking forward to being able to debate him, but said, "We're going to have to follow very strict guidelines." Having receiving 3 days of treatment at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, President Trump has returned to the White House to finish his recovery, and he wants to continue with the presidential debates. Biden told reporters, "I think if he still has COVID, then we shouldn't have a debate." However, the next presidential debate is scheduled for October 15th, with the third debate slated for October 22nd. In international news, Hurricane Delta emerged into the Gulf of Mexico yesterday and is headed toward Louisiana after making landfall south of the Mexican resort of Cancun. The U.S. National Hurricane Center in Miami said Delta had weakened to a Category 1 storm by late afternoon, with maximum sustained winds of 85 miles per hour, but was expected to gain more strength again before hitting the U.S. Gulf Coast. Delta could make landfall possibly as a Category 3 storm sometime Friday south of Morgan City, Louisiana. There were no reports of any deaths or injuries, but there were reports of some flooding in Cozumel. There also were overnight emergency calls that came in from people whose windows or doors were broken, and they were taken to shelters. For more of today's national and international news, we turn to the AP's News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. President Donald Trump has called an abrupt end to negotiations with Democrats over additional COVID-19 relief measures, delaying further stimulus action until after the election. But hours after ending the talks, Trump appeared to edge back a bit, calling on Congress to send him a standalone bill for stimulus checks. Vice President Mike Pence and his Democratic challenger, California Senator Kamala Harris, are poised to meet for a debate that will offer starkly different visions for a country confronting escalating crises. The face-off Wednesday night in Salt Lake City is the most highly anticipated vice presidential debate in recent memory. Hurricane Delta made landfall in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula Wednesday as an extremely dangerous Category 2 storm, roaring ashore between Cancun and the resorts of Playa del Carmen and Cozumel. Quintana Roo State's governor warned it could be the strongest storm since Hurricane Wilma in 2005. A medieval castle in Tuscany is offering families a safe place to bubble on holiday. Torre Palazzoni, an 11th century castle near Siena, has been converted into a luxury villa and has adapted to survive the pandemic. Julian Stiles, Associated Press with AP News Minute.
In sports, Tarleton Athletics began a Madden 21 Tournament of Champions last week. This tournament includes 16 athletes from multiple Tarleton sports battling in the popular football video game Madden 21. The semifinals for the Madden 21 Tournament of Champions starts next week. The finalists consist of softball player Julia Wernette facing off against football player Bryson Collins and football players Benji Franklin and Devin Hafford. Competing against each other, you can stay up to date on all the tournament action on the Tarleton State Athletics Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. And now we turn to Hannah Eckwall with the weather.
Hey Texans, according to the National Weather Service, today is going to be a sunny day with a high of 85 and a low of 63. Tonight it's going to be mostly clear, and tomorrow you can expect another sunny day with a high of 83.
This has been a production of Texan TV News, a product of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Seamanville, Texas. Watch us live on Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 weekdays. If you live off campus, tune in on Northland Cable Channel 9. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, national, international news. Today's broadcast was produced by Landon Davis, Hannah Eckwall, Jacob Hernandez, and Kiah Fischer. Have a wonderful day, Texans.